This is the kind of work that private industry generally can't perform because it's simply too risky to invest in. Government-funded basic research makes groundbreaking discoveries, and American industry then translates that into marketable technologies, making our economy stronger, our energy production more efficient.
If you hadn't realized it yet, 2020 has been a year of monumental change in America. This change has not come easily, though. COVID-19 has claimed the lives of over 220,000 people, and the isolation caused by lengthy lockdowns has taken its toll on the mental health of many more. In recent months, the news has been filled with coverage of extreme weather, from the wildfires in California to the derecho in Iowa. It almost seems as though we cannot catch a break. However, America is not alone in this struggle. All around the world, weather is becoming more extreme, and the ice caps are melting at a frightening rate. This is not to say that climate change is a completely man-made phenomenon, though. The ppm of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has varied greatly, though the levels of carbon in the atmosphere have never been near this high. In the past, significant weather and seismic events have led to the decline in global temperatures and even ice ages. For example, scientists believe the amount of ash released by the eruption of a supermassive volcano could block out the sun, drastically lowering the global temperature and leading to the refreezing of the Arctic. However, humans are at fault for the exponential growth in the saturation of CO2 in the atmosphere. According to the BBC, this figure was about a 0.6% increase in 2019 in emissions, which, while initially might not sound significant, has drastic real-world consequences, ones that are taking form right before our very eyes. Extreme weather, loss of animal habitat due to climate change, and the melting of the world's ice are all prime examples. In recent years, it has become abundantly clear that our reliance on fossil fuels is the cause. Fossil fuels such as coal and oil are made up of ancient biomass, thus contain large amounts of carbon, and when burnt, they release carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases are harmful in a multitude of ways. They trap heat in the atmosphere by absorbing infrared radiation, and, when inhaled, can cause a number of respiratory ailments. So the fix to this is simple, right? We have the technology to do so we should just ditch the fossil fuels for zero-emission renewable energy. Well, unfortunately, once the logistical challenges, and even more daunting, the economic barriers become apparent, switching to all renewables seems much more challenging. To begin answering the question of whether going all renewable energy is even possible, I started by applying this question to my home state, Iowa. Iowa is a state known for its use of wind power. As of 2018, there were 4,211 wind turbines in the state, according to the Farm Bureau. Iowa also became the first state to generate more than 30% of its electricity from wind power, with current estimates being around 42% according to the Iowa Wind Energy Association. However, 42% is still a far cry from ideal. To find out a timeline for when our state expects to generate most of its energy from renewable sources, I call up Adam Jablonski, Director of Renewable Energy Development at Mid-American, to get a couple of answers.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically just a geography of where we're at. If you can just search a wind resource map of the United States, kind of see the central part of the United States from, South Dakota to Iowa on down through Texas. That has very good wind resource. So just historically with measurements, I know they've determined that is kind of the wind belt of the United States, up the central part of the U.S. And then it kind of really tails off as you go east and west to the coast.
Is there any reason that we'd stay using natural gas or coal?
Really, it's the right now, if you want power on a 24/7 basis, you've got to have some base load backup. And right now, that is that fossil generation like coal and natural gas. Until you have some very large energy storage options, that are economical, it's really gonna, I think natural gas, coal, other fossil baseload generation is really gonna stick around. But, the more renewables you put in, the less those resources have to run.
80%. Working in tandem with other energy sources such as nuclear and coal to provide a constant source of energy. It is important to note, however, that renewables are not without their faults. Currently, there are no ways to recycle wind turbine blades, although Mr. Jablonski assured me that there are multiple companies working on that very issue. A solution has yet to be seen. and dismantling the current infrastructure used to make power from fossil fuels would be incredibly expensive. But it is important to remember that protecting the health of our planet is an issue bigger than just money, which is why I want the issue of making renewable energies more feasible addressed by the President and Congress in 2021.